What's going on, Catawba County? Welcome to the heart of Catawba, where community meets conversation. I'm your host, Tyler.
And I'm Laurel. Let's get into it.
This episode is sponsored by Cranford Hospitality, a family-owned business built on good food, hard work, and community. Whether it's a steakhouse night out, a casual barbecue, breakfast with the family, or a drink from their brewery or distillery, everything they do is about bringing people together. We're grateful to be sponsored by a family that puts heart into everything they create. All right, guys, we heard your poll. We had a poll go out on Facebook. We appreciate all of the responses that we got, but I'm going to let Laurel kind of go into our next future steps.
So the last couple podcasts, we talked about our Catawba Current segment, and we wanted to offer as much value as possible for our viewers. So we have decided to, and along with your feedback from the poll from Facebook, we have decided to introduce our current events in the form of like a digital poster that you can see on our Facebook page. We're going to put a couple weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks worth of events in one poster that will have like clickable links, so you're able to find these events a little bit easier. So
yeah, for sure.
Look out for that. We'll just go ahead and pin that to the top of our profiles once we have them made. And of course, as always, feel free to comment if you have any other events that we've missed or that you want to highlight or plug. We welcome all community collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. You can send us a DM, put it in the comment section, whatever you need to do to let us know what events are happening, and I'll leave it to Laurel to make a pretty little flyer for social media. But yeah, we'll pin it up to our Facebook page and Instagram, so that way you can just click the link, go right to their website or whatever the event is, so you can find some more information.
Yep.
For sure. All right, guys, we are moving on to the next segment, which is the Voices of the Valley. All right, guys, welcome back to this segment of Voices of the Valley. We are here with Jennifer Alvarado for maybe a second time. Gotta love a good technology glitch. But we are back. We appreciate you coming back to hang out with us.
Of course. Thank you for being here.
We had such a good time. The first time, we definitely had to run it back.
Honestly, that's how it happens with all of our favorite guests. It's just an opportunity to have deeper conversation.
Hey.
Touch on things we didn't before, which we already have so far.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, we definitely already did, for sure.
Yes.
But tell us where you're from, who you are.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of backstory about you.
I grew up in Hickory, moved to Vail after I got married. So I live in Vail, which is like
the country.
Big town.
Yeah, big old town of Vail. It's actually like the largest post office district, though.
I believe
Really?
it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people probably don't have mailboxes.
Yeah, because it covers like several counties. I don't know. Anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Random fact.
Random fact.
We love a good random fact.
Yeah, that's all I got. Anyway, yeah, bye. But yeah, live in Vail. I'm back and forth to Nashville. I live in Nashville part-time, trying to do the whole songwriting and recording artist thing, and on the road a lot. So
Where'd you go to high school?
went to Hickory.
Hickory High School. Mm-hmm. Okay, what'd you do when you got out of school? How did your transition happen? And we talked a little bit about you learning music theory and stuff in school, so I want to hear more about that too.
Okay, yeah. So let's see.
You're super officially trained, more officially trained than I thought,
I guess,
or that I realized, not thought.
Well, okay. So I went to Hickory High. My senior year, I did AP music theory, which basically was to kind of prepare me for when I went to college. I ended up going to college at Lenore Ryan. Started as vocal performance. After about a year, I was like, nope, going to political science. I'm out.
Swerve.
Yeah, swerve. And so I did political science and family ministries and got a music minor. My plan, I was going to go to Nashville and kind of detoured that to stay and finish out at Lenore Ryan, and then went into full-time career with political science. I actually was going to go to Duke for divinity and law school, which, yes, that.
Whoa.
Okay.
There's even more layers.
Yeah. Because I had pretty much, honestly, after my freshman year at Lenore Ryan, I was like, I am done with music.
See ya.
Yeah, I am done. I'm never doing this again. And basically prayed that, like, if I was supposed to do music, that God would bring back that desire. And it came back probably sevenfold. And
7.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah. And so I started actually, so when I was in college, I met my now husband, but he really was the one that was like, hey, like, you have these songs, like, you have a gift, like, you need to be doing this. And he really encouraged me to get back into music. And so I started doing worship leading, and that kind of took its own life, on its own life. And a few years into doing the whole paralegal thing and wanting to pursue law, I was like, no, I miss music. Like, we need to go back. And so I switched. I went into ministry, into music ministry. And then, of course, 2020 happened. And I started releasing some of my non-Christian, well, I say non-Christian, but just non-sacred kind of stuff, and my country stuff. And it took a life of its own. And so here we are.
Tell me about the first time that you went to Nashville, like your first couple gigs there. Or like how that played out.
Well, I actually went to, there was a thing called Extreme Tour that I was invited to be a part of. And that was back in, I think 2021. And basically it was like a Christian-based thing that they go and they tour these, I guess, underprivileged areas that otherwise really wouldn't have Christian artists or artists come in to play. And you would end up setting up like almost like a revival style worship, just in random places.
That's
like
really cool.
Yeah, it could be at a skate park, it could be wherever. So like I went basically to, I don't want to say audition, but sort of basically do showcases with them and kind of learn more about it and all of that, and get to know the person that leads it and all that, and was super just intimidated and afraid. And this was back in early 2021, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, what is this? And so I went and I did play a showcase for them, and talked about maybe going on a Midwest thing with them, and sort of was like, well, if I'm going to do that, like, I need to like block out some time. And so that was part of the reason I like left my job at the time, and was
what
like,
a big step.
And honestly, I think that's what I needed. Like, it really is. But I remember like thinking back, like I was so afraid to like play. Like, they give you opportunities to play, and I was always like, no, you go ahead. Like,
yeah,
you know.
Well, that's intimidating.
I mean, well, and two, like, I just thought, especially, I guess, when you're with people that, like, I always deem, in any room I go in, I always deem every musician is better than I am. Like, every singer's better, you know.
But especially in Nashville.
Yeah. And so it was one of those things, like, these people have, like, their identity. They have a brand. They've been on tour. They've done this. And I'm, like, here.
Yeah.
You know? And so it was just one of those things of, like, walking in and just really having to, like, acclimate to that situation. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so that happened. I left and started doing full-time music, just started kind of doing gigs here and there. And in that same, like, time frame, started going back to Nashville to do rounds, songwriter rounds. And basically with a songwriter round, you may have 3 or 4 people in a given hour, and you just go down the line and you play a song, they play a song, you know, whatever, and you go back around. And you just share what the songs are about and that kind of thing. So started doing those, and that was my first few little gigs in Nashville, was like these songwriter rounds. And I remember my first one was at a really, there's a spot called The Local that always has something going on. And it was one of my very first rounds there, and I don't know, like, I got up there and I played, and I was like, okay, we're good. Like, we're here. And
felt like you had arrived, kind of.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, or just that, okay, I can do this. Like this is a mindset. Like,
Yeah.
you just got to have that mindset and go.
You were just ready to lock in at that point.
Yes.
You got the first
Yeah.
one done. Okay.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it takes sometimes is
Yeah.
just, you just got to go. And after you get the first one done, you just can, it's like
it's not, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
huge weight lifted off your shoulders. And you're like, okay, we're
Yeah.
good.
Well, when I first got to that one, like the first round, there was like 3 or 4 people. They had all been on The Voice, and they had like,
Oh, wow.
and it was also like published songwriters, know, and I'm over there like,
I'm from Vail.
I'm from Vail, y'all.
I would have felt,
from
I
Vail.
feel like any normal person would have
Yeah,
felt the
and-
exact same way.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, when you're around that for so long, because at this point, like, it's kind of, I hate to say it's a joke, but it kind of is. At this point, everybody has been on American Idol and The Voice and whatever. I mean, when you go to Nashville, I mean, they literally have just rounds for past contestants because there's so many.
That's insane.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like, it's almost like a rite of passage. Like, yep, now you're on this season. Like, so it gets to a place where it's just like, okay, but you don't know that. You don't know that going in. Like,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, and so that's really where I had to get to, was this frame of mind of like, okay, yes, these people have done this and they've done this and they have this much experience, but you also have experience.
That doesn't negate what you bring.
Yeah, and
100%.
and you were doing this, and so yes, you lack experience here, but you also don't gain it if you hide from
Be
it.
teachable.
Yeah. So I think that was just the biggest learning thing, of just go in with, humility and this spirit of like, hey, I just want to learn, and I just want to meet people and, hopefully not make a complete weirdo of myself in the process. But if I do, hey.
Well,
maybe
if
they'll
you do, they'll connect with you.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
what I
they'll
was about to
remember
say.
me.
Your
Like,
weirdos will find you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
The right people will
I
find
mean,
you.
you can't be scared to mess up, and I think
authentic.
that's a lot with what we're doing here. We're not professionals at this. We don't really. I mean, we're learning, and that's how we came into this, is just having an open mind. We're gonna fall on our face. We're gonna do things that we look back on 5 years from now and be like,
Can you believe we said that?
What were we doing?
Yeah.
What were we thinking?
But I'll fail 5 times before somebody tries for the first. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm bounds ahead.
Well, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Don't
like,
be afraid to fail.
yes, because I think for so long, because I'm a perfectionist. I'm still a perfectionist, but I think that I've gotten better at keeping it in check.
Yeah. Put it out there, tweak it
to
later.
where it's not gonna like limit me. But for so long, it was like, no, unless it's perfect, I'm not showing the world anything. Nothing's ever perfect.
Correct.
And it changes. Like the definition, I feel like the definition of perfect changes every single day at this point.
Especially in the
And-
music world.
Yeah. I mean, every trend changes, like, just, and I think that's the biggest thing, like the biggest point of advice that I would give to anybody doing music or just anything creative. Do you, because tomorrow it's going to be in a different trend. Next week it's going to be something different. Then it's going to rotate back to something old, and
It's everywhere and then back again.
You can't keep up with it. I mean, so just do what speaks to you, and like you said, you will find your people, and you will find the ones that get something out of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Tell us about your award.
So the one that I got in December was
Plural. Tell us about all of your awards, please.
let's just not. So I've gotten some for songwriting, specifically. And I've gotten a couple for like entertainer of the year for different things. And that's based on like the amount of shows you're doing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the one I got in December, I feel like because it goes with so much of what is on my heart to do and trying to make a difference. Like, I think it's just a very special one to me. It was the Damon Horn Humanitarian of the Year with the Carolina Country Music Association. And basically, Damon Horn, he has gone into, more poverty-stricken, lower income, not the greatest of neighborhoods and stuff like that, and made music accessible to that crowd. But also, like, he's just done a lot in his career to try to help other artists and really use his platform for good. And so he helps sponsor this award, and every year they give it to someone who has shown volunteer work, but shown something where they've sort of like helped with the community.
Just going above and beyond for the community.
Yeah, well, and just making sure that your platform is doing something beyond just going and playing shows and trying to get your name out there.
Yep,
Right.
being positive.
Not just self-serving.
Yeah, and so part of mine was because I am involved with recovery ministry with Celebrate Recovery, and of course Safe Harbor in the past. I worked there, and also Tennessee Oncology. I go in there when I can, usually once a quarter or more if I can, but I'll play for the patients that are going through chemo treatments and stuff like that. It's just an hour break of music to kind of, while they're sitting there and getting their treatments, maybe take their mind off of what's going on.
Just soothing, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Play those notes that are comforting.
Yes.
And,
High vibes music.
Yeah, high vibes, not
sadness. Not sadness.
Sadness.
sadness. But so, and I think that that's just so important.
The outreach piece.
Yeah, well,
Tell us
because
about the
that's-
prison part too. I
Oh, yeah.
want you to talk about
Yeah.
that because there's some stuff we talked about
was
last
there
time.
last night.
Oh, were you? You
Yeah.
were there like the night before the last time you came too.
I think you were.
I think I was.
Look at
yeah.
her.
But yeah, so I was at the detention center last night, and basically there is a ministry in town called Kingdom Come, and I help with worship once a month with them when they go into the detention center, and there's 2 different sessions, one's for men, one's for women, and it's just trying to bring the word to that population and also give them a connection so when they do get out that they know people in the area that can,
Resources.
yes,
and
yes,
things.
and that it's a connection to try to get involved with the community too.
Yeah.
Not just the resources, but actually have
Support.
accountability and support. And so that's really near and dear. And then tonight I'm back at the correctional facility for Celebrate Recovery Inside. And I try
That's
to do
awesome.
that once a month as well.
That is just so cool.
I didn't know that they did the Celebrate Recovery Inside. Will you tell us about Celebrate Recovery?
Yeah, so Celebrate Recovery is a 12-step program. I think it started based off of AA, and then the 2 that were in AA, they started the Celebrate Recovery because the higher power is obviously Jesus Christ with Celebrate Recovery, where AA, it's anything you deem bigger than you, essentially.
Yeah.
But it's the 12 steps are based around the biblical principles with Celebrate Recovery. And I started in that when, I'm trying to think. So, oh gosh, it must have been 2012, 2013. I started helping with that and then led that with worship. I was the worship leader for that for a good 10 or 11 years. And then had to step away from Friday nights because
Traveling.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
wasn't there.
Friday night's tough to come by in your
It-
world.
It really is. And so I had to step away. So I still help out some. But one thing that I love is being able to go into the prison. And there's a couple guys that actually help me with worship. And so to get them involved, and then they actually lead the weeks I'm not able to be there.
That's
so
awesome.
It's just, it brings another level of accountability and responsibility because you've got those that are helping with the tech side of it and running the lyrics and all that. And then you have those that come up and they do the 12 steps or the 8 principles and read that. And it's just a way of giving everybody a role.
It's like making disciples.
Yeah,
That's so sweet.
So
it just spreads.
Well, and that's the hope.
Yeah.
The hope is, they have that point of stability and kind of the sponsorship aspect, but also, but just also building that community inside. But then when you come outside, get involved with another Celebrate Recovery in your area, or get involved with, an AA or whatever the case may be, but to continue that, to have that to lean on, because that transition back from prison to outside world, like that's what gets so many in that
Nobody
population.
wants to speak about it.
No, but it is. I mean,
you fall back into those patterns.
You fall back in because it's what you know.
Well, you go right back to the people that you know, and because you have nowhere else to go.
Exactly.
So you're right back in the same neighborhood, in the same situation, in the same household that you know is not good for you.
Yep.
You know you shouldn't be there.
Do you know that's a chemical thing in the brain? I just recently found out that's actually like your brain will go to what's familiar every time, even if it's dangerous. It will go towards what is familiar over what is, not safe or probably the right thing, because you haven't done that before.
So I don't know if we talked about it last time, but how did you start down the adult correctional facility, or how did you just find that door or that road that you were like, you know what?
Jesus was like, here's the door.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean,
kind of.
Seems like it for all of your scenarios. So, you're doing honestly, so many things. Yeah, he's like, over here.
But I think that's part of it too. I think is be aware of like where you can serve. Like, that's one thing I always pray for. I pray for that every single day, honestly, is, hey, Jesus, like, open a door. Like, God, please, like, if this is the road I'm supposed to be on, please provide the resources. Please open that door. I mean, especially with music, because there's days that it feels like every door is slamming in your face. But that's one thing that I've always prayed about with gigs, and especially been intentional about gigs this year, because you only have so much time. And I want to make sure that what I'm doing is worth it. That it's
where
not
you're supposed to be.
Yeah, that is not just about a paycheck and chasing a paycheck, but it's actually like
obedience.
Because I think for a long time, because I'll be honest, one of my fears is money. Like, and I have to be very aware of that, because if I'm not, then I will just be chasing a paycheck and going from here to there to wherever and being like,
because a servant heart just gives it all away.
Yeah, and I think too, because I get joy in just like helping, and so it's like,
how do you monetize assisting people?
Yeah, well, kind of, but
yeah, it feels
but
weird.
You have to keep that in check, and so I have to sort of say, like, this is how much time I have, and so what can I really do in this time, and what is meaningful, and what is going to actually, I guess, build versus just spending an hour somewhere. And, anyway, but to answer your question, so I got involved with Celebrate Recovery after I first got involved with that after my aunt told me, hey, I think that it could help. Like, I think you need to just go and do this and sing for them or whatever, like help out as a worship leader. And I was like, okay. Like, I was very.
Did she know somebody in the
She knew
facility?
about the ministry.
Okay.
So the church we were at, and church I'm still at, like, they had a Celebrate Recovery program.
Okay.
And I was under the impression, because, I can't even remember how old I was at that point, but I think I was early 20s, and I was like, why would I go to Celebrate Recovery? I don't have an addiction. What?
Yeah.
What? And I remember, like, I say that because I think a lot of people think that. And I remember the first or second time I went, and of course I was there to sing, but I watched a testimony, and that's another thing with Celebrate Recovery is every other week is a testimony from somebody, and I think that those are so powerful. Like, yes,
Absolutely.
The lessons are great, but the testimony, I feel like, is where the meat and potatoes are of everything. And so somebody got up there and they started talking. And of course, I'm over there like, I don't have an addiction, blah, 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 blah. I'm fine. And the person was talking about codependency and perfectionism and how
Triggered.
yeah.
Triggered immediately.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you speaking to me up there?
Yeah, and I could feel my face going red, and I was like,
I'm about to cry.
oh, it's me. And they were talking about codependency and how like you're worried about what people think of you, and is it keeping you like basically just in this hole? And I mean, yeah, it was, because I was so afraid of like being judged for X, Y, and Z that
You were judging yourself first.
Well, but I wasn't using what God,
Yeah.
gave me to use, and I wasn't pursuing what I felt like from age 4 I was supposed to be doing. Like, I was living in fear of all of it. And so I credit Celebrate Recovery so much for bringing me out of that shell, because it was the one place that I felt like I could sing with a full voice and not, like, I wasn't being judged by everybody, if that makes sense. And because people would even say, like, you sing so differently at CR than you do on Sunday morning. And it was that way.
I know my audience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know your audience.
And like,
there's so much gratitude at a place like
Yes.
that where people are
and I
willing to be
saw that.
vulnerable.
And so
So you're
think-
willing to be vulnerable
Yeah.
with them.
And so that really, like, that place especially just really opened my eyes to so much of what music is and what, why God gives you certain gifts and puts you in certain places. And so then what was also happening in Celebrate Recovery was we had, at that point in time, there was a group coming in from the prison, from the correctional facility. They would be able to like do like a day pass or something, where they were able to actually come to the Celebrate Recovery service at that point in time.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, at that point. And so they were able to come out and come to the service, and several of them would actually started helping me with worship. And so I met a lot of the guys that way. And then also there were ladies coming from Safe Harbor at that time too. And so but then what happened was 2020
Yep.
and all of that. And some other things happened that where they could not come out anymore. And so we were able to go in. And I don't know all of the details of what and when and where and why and all that.
Yeah.
But one person, Brent Stein, like he's actually, I think, the chaplain over at the correctional facility now, but he's with Christ Church, and so he started going in, and then it just slowly built from there. So it's been the past, probably 5 years of going in there.
Yeah. I mean, I just love that. Like that, whenever we had the last one, I left just with feeling so good, because it just shows what kind of person you are to be willing to go into a situation like that where it could be very negative. And the whole situation around correctional facilities is negative. It's made to be negative. And just to be able to go in there and shine that light just is just so amazing. Honestly, it really is.
I think for me, like, yes, there is this connotation, but the fact is we've all messed up.
We just haven't all been caught.
Yep. Amen.
Much. Now, granted, are there some stories? Yes, of course there are, and there's always the exception to the rule. But for the most part, I see the humanity of each person, and I see that in so many cases, like people don't get the same opportunities and the same upbringing and exposure, and in so many cases, like what you've been exposed to, like that's what you're living out, and it's a cycle, and it's all part of breaking that cycle.
It's so hard to break that cycle.
And I saw that especially when I was working at Safe Harbor, was people would do well for a while, and then 3 months later, it all happens again. And it's part of breaking that cycle. And until you're willing to really look at it and do the work to get to the root of the issue, like
You have to want to.
Yeah, you do.
To want to fix it or it won't work.
Right. And the person has to do it. Like,
Yep.
you can't work harder than the person. And that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned with recovery ministry and CR and all of the stuff, is that you can't want it more than the other person. Mm-hmm. It won't work. You know, you can want it more, but it's going to drive you insane.
100%.
And it's not going to help the other person either, because you're going to end up resenting that person and getting angry. And the thing is, like, in so many cases, it's addiction. It's, the addiction is not the core problem. It's
usually like some sort of emotional pain.
Yes.
Or trauma of some sort.
The addiction is simply like
coping.
The little piece of Band-Aid that's trying to fix it.
Yeah.
So
you said that you like to meditate. How else? What else do you do to like de-stress? Because I'm like hearing all these things that you're doing, and I'm thinking like, what day off? What meditation time? Do you wake up early? Do you meditate before bed?
Oh, I hate waking up early.
Do you
Sound like me.
Yeah, I hate it. I feel like I'm on like the gig schedule of like
late night hours?
Yeah, like
night
Girl,
owl.
you're on that bartending schedule.
Yeah, I will gladly be up at 4 to talk to you, but 8, 9, 10,
Oof.
please let me sleep.
Yeah.
And I'll be back up at noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to get back on a schedule of some sort.
What is a schedule?
I don't know.
Don't ask me.
I don't know.
We don't have one.
I usually go for about 3 or 4 hours, and then
Just take intermittent napping.
Yep.
That's what we do here.
That's what I do. Yeah. Yeah, I meditate, but I think also just songwriting. Like, if I'm really stressed about something, sitting down and like just
Writing it
word
out.
vomit on a page, that's usually my therapy. And
Is that
that's-
your process? Your writing process? You
Sometimes.
so do you sort of like word vomit, like you said, and then after you kind of get it all out, do you then like not deconstruct it, but like take pieces of it and build it into like formatable
It depends.
song?
Sometimes I already have a melody. I already have like that hook.
Yeah.
And usually if I have a hook, I can kind of build around that hook relatively quickly.
Yeah.
If I have a concept of what I want to talk about, it takes a little bit longer, because I may start with like a verse and have all of a verse, but I don't know where I want to get
Direction.
to.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And so it helps to have a hook usually.
Yeah.
It also depends if I'm doing a co-write or not, but usually for the most part, like, I will have some type of melody or sentence of some sort, and it's like, this is where we're headed. Like, this is what we're doing. And so those songs come relatively quickly.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. Tell me your favorite quote or Bible verse.
My life verse is Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart.
Aw.
But, we talked about this a little bit, but that's changed over time. Like, I now see that it's not like the genie in a bottle of...
Right. Your understanding of it has changed. Is that what you mean?
I think when I was a kid, it was like,
I desire this candy bar.
Yeah, well, I want to be a country singer, and I want to sell 999 million. I had a little thing that I was like, I want 999 million records sold, and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And now it's like, God, what do you want? Like, I want what you want.
Yeah.
And so that, it just changes. And I think I saw that change happen when I was probably about 25 or so, of just like, oh, that's what that verse means. Like,
It's funny
I
how these
remember the day,
realizations happen. You're like, oh,
yeah,
this
I
whole
was just
time.
sitting there, and like, I was actually at a Bible study and not even talking about that verse.
Light bulb.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Hello?
I understand.
I get it. Okay. It's about like being, in his presence
Yeah.
and realizing that like your desires will change in that process.
Yeah.
So
That's been my biggest prayer in the last year, is asking God to align the desires of my heart with his perfect will over my life.
Yep.
Align those. So then I don't have to guess. I don't have to wonder. I don't have to ask, like, is this right? Like, I know it's right because he's guided my heart to be in alignment with that.
yeah.
That is such
That's
a
awesome.
powerful prayer.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I need to pray harder about the finances.
Starving
artist. Yeah. Can we also align the desires of the pocketbook?
Yeah. Provide the resources, please.
Yes, please. Good heavens.
Oh, yeah.
What are we missing? What does the next 5 years look like? 1 year look like? Or are we just like, take me where you want, God?
Honestly,
We're just gonna ride the wave.
So,
That's how I
when
feel.
I was like 6 years old, I had like a 20-year plan.
What? As a 6-year-old?
Oh, yeah. Like
Dang.
I was a
you're way
planner.
more
She's
advanced.
determined.
No, I was a planner, and
Yeah.
and I was always a planner. And then when I got to about 16, 17, 18, and realized that like nothing was panning out the
Yep.
way I thought it would, I then fought it for a while, and then probably when I was about 25, I was like, it doesn't matter.
Throw your hands
just,
up.
Whatever. And the thing is, you enjoy the moment more when there's not. Now, are there goals? Yes. Like, I have a song coming out the end of this week. And obviously, I want it to do well. I want, when I tour this summer, like I want those things to go well. And there's opportunities that I hope come about and that I would love to be part of, festivals and all of that are part of a bucket list, the Bluebird and the Ryman and all that. Like I would love all that. But I think at the end of the day, it's not a need, it's a want. And so I think as long as I'm still creating music in 5 years and still touring and still sort of like being able to meet people, because I like to meet people and learn their stories. And I love sitting down with other co-writers and learning their stories. Like, to me, that's what it boils down to. That's what matters. And that I'm using my platform to talk about mental health and talk about recovery and kind of these areas that are, I guess, have this stigma attached to them that don't
We don't
need
talk
to.
about that.
Yeah.
But
Like,
we need to talk about
Yeah,
it.
well, and I think that's the thing. Like music, that's what music always was for me.
Yeah.
Was the opportunity to talk about something that it was a safe place to say whatever I was feeling, and it didn't matter. It wasn't right or wrong.
It wasn't
Like,
judged. It
exactly.
wasn't, nobody had to respond.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
and I think for so long that's why I held it like
I love that.
so tight and secret, because it was my safe place. But I also feel like that's part of why we have so much of the mental health and the addictions and all of that going on, is that people bury that stuff and then they bury it with other substances instead of getting it out and getting it into the light where it can't hurt you there, because it takes away the shame and it takes away the guilt when you've actually brought it out to talk about it and work through it.
Yeah.
And so I think as long as I'm doing something with that, like that's all I can ask for.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. That is so true. I had that, somebody actually asked me, I think 1 or 2 days ago, what are your plans? I was in a particular location for like one of my locations for the boutique. And she was like, well, what are your plans? And I was like, I'm not really sure.
What is a plan?
What do you mean by that? And she's like, well, like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm just going to keep doing. Like
Keep on keeping on.
What do you say? Like, I'm hopeful that I'll wake up tomorrow and then we can talk about it then.
Yep. Every
Like,
day's
what
a new day.
What an unpredictable time of life, but like you said, being able to view it from a lens of hope, knowing that your hope is in Jesus. There's really nothing can really upset you. Like, you can have a day,
Oh yeah.
but nothing can really get you down. Like there's just a
Right.
different light because you know.
Well, and I think that that's important to show other people because especially for non-believers and those that have had church hurt or those that are in the midst of recovery and addiction and whatever else, like, you know, where is their hope? Their hope is from that next high.
Yep.
Right.
And that's not sustainable.
Right.
And so I think that that's honestly that's our job is to be a display of that
There's
hope
another
and
way.
that love and to
Yeah.
not show judgment when, you know, just like with the prison stuff and whatever, like that's somebody's past. And I've done things in my past that I'm not proud of. And I don't want it on a billboard somewhere. But it happened, and it has brought me here, and it's given me an appreciation of being here. And so for that reason, like, I don't want to negate it, but I also don't want to live in it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that we have to get past. Like, we're so judgmental about somebody's history, and you know, it completely goes against what we believe as Christians. Like, if we truly believe that, you know, when you are in Christ, you are a new creation, then none of that in the past should matter. And who are we to judge if it has happened or it's not? Like,
He's the one that's going to judge.
Right.
Why are we sitting here worried about it? Because everybody can change, and everybody, like
Yep.
you said, everybody's made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. But it's what you do now
yeah,
that truly matters.
it's the
'cause
fruit
there's-
that you produce from this point on.
Yep.
Like,
you can't do anything about any of that in the past. It's
Right.
it's gone. It's done. It is what it is. You know, we can talk about it. We can do whatever. But this is where I'm at now,
right.
and this
Makes
is where
me
we're
think
going.
about Matthew. I think it's Matthew, the tax collector, and how Jesus just plucked him right there in the
Yeah.
middle of work. Just like this guy's going against all of their, you know, everything they know. And
Look,
hello,
this is my wake up time.
good morning.
This is when we wake up.
But we're already up.
Wow,
It's
guys.
on you.
Anyways,
That's all right. My bad,
will you
guys.
play
My
us
bad.
your song? Can we get a preview?
Yeah.
I would love to hear
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
try
adjust
to
how
not
you need.
crash
If I need to
this.
move, I will.
I don't think so.
No, yeah, you should.
And I even brought a pick.
Yay!
Hey,
I know, so that it's maybe a little louder. Because I put new strings on and.
Giving Tosh Sultana vibes.
Let me see if I can do this without. So I wrote this for my husband because my parents hate him.
love that.
His birthday's next Tuesday, so this is coming out Friday.
Okay, happy early birthday.
Yeah. Oh my, I think that I'm enough. You're a rebel and I just can't get enough. I like gold, but my parents think it's tough. You're quiet, they can't trust the two of us. And my daddy doesn't like you. He thinks that you're bad news. He's never seen me act like I do with you. His little girl's head over heels for a boy with tattoos. My daddy doesn't like you. I do. Well, all these years I thought that things could change, but he still can't stand it when I say your name. Well, you took away his little girl, the shame. 'Cause you're the devil with a beard and a ring. And my daddy doesn't like you. He thinks that you're bad news. He's never seen me Act like I do with you. And his little girl's head open heels for a boy with tattoos. Smile and he doesn't like you. Attitude. Humanitarian doesn't like you, 'cause he thinks it's your bad news. He's never seen me act like I do with you. And his little girl's head over heels for a boy with tattoos. Smiling and he doesn't like you. Attitude. Oh my, I think that I'm in love. Well, you're a rebel and I just can't get enough.
That was so good.
Yeah, that's so good.
I've got to know the tea immediately. Tell us about your husband and why your dad doesn't like him. Also, happy early birthday.
Yeah, happy early birthday for sure.
So yeah, I started dating. I started dating him in college, and our mutual friends, two of my sorority sisters, actually set us up, and neither of us wanted to meet. We were like, nope, we're good.
Yep.
Both coming out of relationships that we hated the opposite sex, and anyway,
Yeah.
so they kind of like, they were like, oh, but he really wants to meet you, and they said the same thing to him, and so we met, and that's pretty much it. We started dating. Well, I said we couldn't date until we had known each other a month. Like, I had this whole list of rules. And anyway, so we started dating, and it was probably about a month in, and he sent me this whole bouquet of flowers, like a flower for like every day of the past month or whatever. And my father lost his mind. Like, he was like, what are your intentions with this boy? And so it just kind of went downhill from there. And I think, too, it was because...
That's so thoughtful. Come on, Dad. What the heck?
Well, and
is it because he had tattoos?
Probably. There's a lot.
Dad.
The funny thing is, he had, like, earrings at the time. Like, he had tattoos. Like, totally just... completely different than
The alternative?
Yes, the alternative.
The alternative.
Completely different than anything that I would have randomly dated ever.
Yeah.
And so it was to the point, like, when I was still living at home, because, you know, we started dating when I was still living at home, and my father would see him coming up the road, and he'd close the garage door. Like, he would just close the garage door and leave. Like, he was just like,
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah. And so, anyway, I think part of it was I moved out I moved out on my own. Not with him, but I moved out on my own. Not that it matters. But I moved out on my own, and I think that they saw it as like, oh, like, she's growing up. And two, like, I'm an only child. So I think there was just a lot. There was a lot there.
Yep.
And so...
You have high expectations of people that surround you
so.
as your parents.
I think so. And I think, too, just... I don't know that he would have liked anybody. That I just don't. And so there was that. But, so they... I mean...
What about now? That expression said a lot. That expression said a lot.
They're okay.
Yeah.
I mean...
They're cordial.
They're cordial. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of them things. Like,
Has your dad heard that song?
No. Not unless my mom's played it at some point, but...
Will he hear it when it's
I don't
released,
know.
you think? Do you
Probably
think he'll
not.
listen to it?
Probably not. Probably not.
If he did, how do you think he would respond? Do you think he'd just chuckle? Like, that's
I feel like that's a...
He'd probably be
that's a
like,
dad.
facts.
Yeah, he'd just like...
Facts. She's not wrong.
I hope so. Like, I hope it's a chuckle. Like, I hope it's not like, oh my gosh. And the funny thing is, like, I have this picture that I took when I was like 7 years old. We were on a trip. And of course, like, my dad is, like, he was taller. Well, not really now, but anyway, when I took the picture, it was just his belly and like the bottom of his chin. Okay. And so like, that's what I used for the album cover.
I love it.
And
That
love
is
it.
gold.
And I had Josh like
That's
kind of, because Josh like, you know, I wanted him to be part of it. So like he did like the text or whatever on it. And so it honestly looks like a really like morbid video game at this point. The cover does.
That's hilarious.
awesome.
But yeah, and
It's
so
fitting.
But so I hope that he chuckles at it. Like I hope he doesn't take it as like, how dare you? But hey, we'll see.
No, I think he will appreciate your talent. I mean, I don't know anything about your dad, but that's a great song, and I'm looking forward to it coming
It's
out.
A1, yeah. We'll definitely be listening to it for sure. I can't wait to hear the full version.
Thanks. Yeah, it was actually my very the first time I've worked with this producer in Nashville. Because
nice.
usually I work with a producer in Morganton, Ricky Rodriguez with Baumhouse. And that's who I've used for years. I mean, I've done everything basically with him other than when I did a project in Boston. But yeah, this was the first time I worked with this guy, Jesse, in Nashville. And yeah.
Cutting demos left and right, girl.
We
feels
love
like
it.
Is there anything else you want anyone to know about you or what you have going on aside from your release this Friday?
Yeah, March 13th. Yeah. So I do have an EP coming out that I'm working on still. But it's coming out in mid-May. So be on the lookout for that. It's called Map of Broken Hearts. And
Love that.
and yeah, touring. My goal is to hit all 50 states and then I mean hopefully some international, but I'm adding like 6 or 7 states to the mix this year.
Awesome.
That's
I haven't
awesome.
been to before. So,
Yes.
So yeah, so that's kind of like my, I guess through September time frame.
I love
plan.
that.
But yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations
I'm
for
excited
sure.
to see all the awesome things that you do.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you for
having me back.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. You're absolutely wonderful. and
thank
we
you.
appreciate all you do for
Yeah,
the community as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I think your vision lines up perfectly with what we do here and what our whole mentality of starting this was just to, you know, make a difference and shine some light on people doing amazing things in this community.
And you certainly are.
And you definitely are. I think you are the highlight of doing good things and
Well, thank you for that.
not and for the right reasons, not just for
Right.
clout or fame
Authentically.
or any of that. Like, I don't think you care. Like, would everybody like it to blow up? Yeah, absolutely.
Of
But I
course.
think that's
Like,
normal.
that's
Not
human.
about
But yeah, but not because,
Yeah.
oh, well, I'm not blowing up, so I'm done. You know, then I quit.
No.
So
I'd be done a long time.
There's real passion in it.
left
Or
a long
the
time ago.
flame
Yeah.
will fade if there's not true passion.
There is.
100%.
Yeah, you'll have one bad day and be like, I'm done.
Yep.
Like,
Hang it up.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Good.
So, well, thank you
for
so
coming.
much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching this segment of the Voices of the Valley. And then in our final part of the podcast, we always go into the Patreon piece. So for $5 a month, you can get all of our videos ad-free early. For $10 a month, you can get or you can participate in our segment of Voices of the Valley. You can ask our guests any questions, anything you want clarity on to be highlighted on. And then you can get behind the scenes, all of our bloopers, funny stuff. It is forever growing in there for sure. And then for $20 a month, we will give you a personal shout out, give you put your link in here, however we need to do to kind of support you for supporting us.
Yeah. And we just added a sponsorship information opportunity to our website.
Absolutely.
So be sure to check that out. There's opportunity at, a low cost to get some visibility to support your brand. So explore that. Shoot us an email if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of the website, I did upload or make it a way that if you're interested in coming on the podcast, you can go apply if you want to call it apply. I don't really know what I want to call
It's
it.
like an info form.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just
Intake form.
fill out some information so we get to know you better and kind of, see if your vision is aligning with ours. And then also, have our contact us. So if you want some information for any sponsorship opportunities, you can send it to us and we will definitely send you some information on it.
Yep. We're excited. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you.
See ya.
Peace.